Yo, so this is my new player review of Zenless Zone Zero. It's just a review for the early game. I have no idea if the end game's any good. It probably won't be. It'll probably be dog shit. But at the end of the day, I have no idea. It could be amazing. But yeah, I'm probably not going to sink the 50 or 60 hours I need to sink in to get through it. All the balancing went to the TV mode. The balancing in this game for the actual game that's advertised is pathetic. Mihoyo should be ashamed of themselves. It's fucking sad how bad the balancing is. I'm going to be showing a little bit three other games on mobile that you can play. Action Taimanin, Snowbreak Containment Zone, and Wuthering Waves. I'm going to be showing in those games the new player experience in those games and show how you basically, the barrier to entry in those games to play the fucking game is install the game, make an account, log on, maybe do a tiny bit of story stuff that you usually can just skip anyways so you don't have to sit through, and then you can start playing the actual fucking game. And then there's difficulty progression. The game will get harder over time. They'll introduce mechanics over time. There'll be a reason for you to use the things in your your tool belt that you have to do over time, and all those in those three games. So for a new player who's starting the game, those are better games in this game because you'll get to play the game very quickly. This game, they go out of their fucking way to make all the side activity, all the mini games in the game, the actual main core of the game, and the gameplay itself is almost like heroin that you occasionally will get your fix, and then the TV mode and all the other bullshit mini games is basically like Bologna with her scourge just standing over you, whipping you constantly every time you do one of those mini games. And the reward is that every now and then you get to inject some heroin into your system, which is the actual fucking gameplay of this game. But then you start to learn that the heroin you're injecting yourself with isn't even high quality heroin. It's black tar heroin. It's shitty street shit. And then eventually that's not good enough. And now you just have to sit through getting whipped for like 10, 15 hours until you can actually eventually get to supposedly the holy land of heroin and stuff that Tectone keeps on talking about. Like, well, no, guys, come on, come on, come on, come on. There's amazing content at all of this. There's amazing content at the end of all this. There's amazing content. You don't know. I mean, there might not be, but there could be, right? That's the fucking drug addicts mentality. It's like, well, I might be able to get my next fix. I might be able to get it someday. Someday I'll be able to get my fix, right? That's what this game fucking does to you for gameplay. You know, that's fucking bullshit. So I'm going to be showing in a second clips and talking over those games. Action Taimanin, I can't make a new account, so I'll just try and show stuff in that from my account. But in Snowbreak, I'll be able to make a brand new account and show you the exact new player experience in that game. Same thing with Wuthering Waves. And you'll be able to see in those games how they're actually games. They actually made a fucking video game and put it on your phone that you can download and play. Whereas Zenless made some kind of fucking drug den psychological fucking experiment that they're probably going to use this data on their Animal Crossing game so they can get more people that play the Animal Crossing game that normally wouldn't play it because they're people like me, they're players like me. They need some combat in their game. They're like, okay, well, how much do we need to have in that game? And this is the fucking data collection game for that. That's what it fucking feels like. So I'll see you in a little bit with the other games. Yo, so here's the very beginning of Snowbreak. As you can see, my UI, this is the default UI that you play with, right? So if this was made by Mihoyo, it wasn't made by CSUN, I would have to play at this UI. Now look, this is literally the very beginning of the game. Let's see, can I die these enemies? I mean, probably have to go out of my way, but see, look, I'm actually taking damage from these enemies. Of course, they're slow, so this is the very beginning of the game, so most gacha games are not expecting you to die. But as you can see, even in the very beginning of the game, I still take damage when I get hit. And if I wait here long enough, I'll die. Now, obviously, I can just do that and kill them. But these are like basic enemies. So this is supposed to be the easy, very beginning of the game. So that's fine. But the fact is like, you look at my health bar. My health bar actually took damage. I was actually able to take damage in this game. Even at the very, very, very beginning of the game, I can take damage. It's a mechanic in the game. Unlike in Zenless. In Zenless, you can't take damage in the very beginning of the game. Maybe like 10 hours in, you start to take damage. Maybe if you don't upgrade your characters and use the default characters, you'll take damage in the story. But yeah, you don't take damage in Zenless. You can take damage in this game. I can die. If I am really bad at the game, I can actually even lose this level. It's probably not going to happen for anyone, really, but at the end of the day, you can still potentially even lose at the beginning of the game. That's impossible in Zenless right now. I mean, maybe not impossible, but man, it's going to take like probably 2 hours to die on a floor versus 30 minutes to die on a floor in this game. So, probably just go to my actual account and show some hard floors on that to show that you can actually unlock hard difficulty in this game pretty quickly too. So this is the boss they're introducing. Again, this is all the very, very beginning of the game. This isn't spoiling anything. This is what you'll see like 2 minutes into playing the game. I just wanted to get to the part where I actually can move and shoot and all that stuff. So you can see it's not challenging right now because it's the very beginning of the game. But again, if I wasn't trying and stuff, I could potentially still lose to this boss. And that's not something you can say about Zenless. That's not at all something you can say about Zenless. At least in the early game. Maybe in the late game it changes, but right now, in Zenless, there's no game you're playing. You're just seeing your characters do stuff. But there's no actual risk and challenge to it. Yo, so I'm just going to show another level in the beginning. Something that is kind of annoying is to see they kind of do this hand-holding thing where you have to do battle start. It's a little annoying, but to be honest, I think you get past that after like one chapter. And you might even be able to turn that off. I don't remember if you can turn tutorial stuff off. So yeah, I'll play with this UI because again, it's the very beginning of the game. It doesn't really matter. But again, if I stand here and let this guy shoot me, can he shoot me? Well, I guess maybe not as challenging as I remember the very beginning being, but at the end of the day, it is still just the beginning. I will show you some stuff on my account later with characters that are basically maxed out, and if I do it on a the chapter 1 hard mode, it will be something I can fail on those characters. So I'll show you that in a little bit. Alright. Yo, so here's on my account. I'm on chapter 2 hard because there's normal and hard. You unlock hard after you beat the chapter on normal. So I'm on chapter 2, right? Of what's it called? Zenless Zone Zero. So I'm gonna do the chapter 2 of this game. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Yao, who's level 72, who's got a lot of gear, and then these 2 level 1s. And then, later on you'll see in the footage me using level 1s in Zenless Zone Zero, and we're gonna compare. Because Zenless Zone Zero has a hard difficulty, right? So you can turn it on. Unlike Snowbreak, you can turn it on without beating normal modes. So we're going to see which game matters in terms of difficulty. So let's see with this game. Okay, we're going to see first with level 2, and then we're going to go on floor 4. Because floor 2 doesn't really seem to hurt Yao that much, but floor 4 does. Chapter 4 hard. does seem to hurt Yao, but when it comes to Chapter 2, yeah, it doesn't really hurt her that much. She's level 72, but yeah, what about the level 1s, though? How much damage do they take? How much damage do they take? Oh, they get one shot. Oh, really? What? They get one shot? That doesn't seem that fair. Oh, well, she didn't get one shot. Oh, she's dead. Okay. Well, I just killed the whole floor with my Yao, though, because, you know, of course she's geared, over-geared for this content. So, no shit. It would be like someone being like, well, you know, World of Warcraft is a game for noobs because I was able to do Mythic and Taurus on my War Within character who has full War Within LFR gear. So obviously World of Warcraft's for noobs, and I don't know why anyone would think the Mythic rating's that difficult, because I was able to beat Mythic and Taurus on my character that I have in War Within that's got full War Within LFR gear. Oh, and it wasn't by myself either, it was in a group with other people in a pug. And it's like, yeah, you know, like, obviously the game's for noobs then, right? So it would be like, yeah, obviously you can't say that about this. You can't be like, well, yeah, this character's over-geared for this. But the fact that my level 1s who aren't actually geared for this get one shot tells you that, okay, you can't fuck around with your characters. You have to actually invest on them, right? If you don't invest on your characters, you won't be able to complete this stage on hard, right? That's what it fucking tells you, right? So, let's, when we get to Zenless, you'll see if Zenless can do the same thing. Yeah, we'll get to see that. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny what you're gonna see. Trust me, it's hilarious. It's hilarious what you're gonna see. Now, I could beat this level, obviously. I could have put on 3 good characters, you know, so on, so on. I want to get to level 4, because I want to show you that this Yao, that, you know, is a tank on level 2 hard, and there's 10 chapters of hard that I beat all 10 of, right? Now, Yao's obviously not my best character, but let's go to 4, go to this hard. And at this point, I probably should have put on my other characters. Actually, I think I do need to put on my other characters, because I can't beat this with just Yao. I can't actually beat this chapter with just Yao. So I have to go back. I have to go put on my other characters, because if I don't do that, I won't be able to beat the stage. So let me do that real quick. Let's come and put on Enya. Let's put on Tess. Alright, we got our team all set up. Now, let me show this, because my Enya can heal, so it'll be able to redo the mistake. So watch this. I'm going to run in. Depending on, you know, who I want to run in, I'm just going to run in on Yao. So, stand here. And what's happening now, as you can see, it's not a lot of damage, but I am taking enough damage in a reasonable amount of time that, yeah, if I don't pay attention, like if I had to had to pee or something and came back, I might be dead on this character. I might be dead on 2 characters. If I had to go pee on Zenless Zone Zero, I'd probably go take a shit, come back and have like at least 2 characters still alive. So, yeah. But I'm gonna try and beat the level. I'm not going to have to try super hard, because obviously my characters are really good. So their damage is also nuts. But at the end of the day, I can die on this fucking stage that's only level 4, by the way. It's only level 4 out of 10 chapters I've access to. And the hard content in this game isn't even the story hard content. This is just sort of like a stepping stone for hard content. So the fact that the stepping stone for hard content in this game, I don't know what the end game of Zenless is. I don't know what it is, so I can't say that the end game of this game is harder than it because I have no idea what the end game of Zenless is. I just know what the new player experience is. I just know what the game balancing is and what it suggests, but I don't know for a fact what the end game is and what all the game is. So maybe Mihoyo, they just decide to make 50% of their game dog shit, and then the other 50%'s good. Or I don't know what percent is good, but at the end of the day, all I play is dog shit. So, yeah. So, anyways, we're going to get through this. And, again, I don't really have to try just because my characters are really good. Again, this is content that they're way over-geared for, but the fact that they can still take damage and potentially die if I fuck up a lot, right? And this is only stage 4, so there's plenty of other content down the road, stages I can replay where I can still get some challenge. And the great thing about replaying the hard sections is they don't consume AP or stamina or resonance or whatever the hell it's called in this game. Wave plates, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't consume that, so you don't have to worry about consuming your resources if you want to just keep replaying this content. That's another great thing about this game. I mean, Zenless got that too, so it's not like a pro against Zenless, but then again, Zenless doesn't even have any like gameplay for you to play anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you can replay dog shit. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna get through this level. Or maybe should I? I don't know. Could go on. Probably need to play some other characters too. Play my tests, her skills. In that way I can actually play the game skill-based way. And then by doing that, I actually get to speed up the time it takes to get through the level. But it also kills the enemies faster, so when they hit me, I don't take as much damage. But in Zenless, it's all it's for is just speeding up the level because health isn't even a mechanic in that game, or at least where I am in the game. And I'm like at least like 6 hours in, so maybe not 6 hours, I'm probably like 3 hours in, but I played the game for like 6 or 7 hours because I just stopped playing the story and just went into like the train range and stuff and played the game for a little bit. Did some stuff like that. End of the day, yeah. Getting through the story in this game is super easy, and it's all about gameplay. That's all what this game's about. If you are a minigame fiend, a minigame addict, you have to have your gameplay be like 90% minigames and 10% actual gameplay. Then you'll love Zenless Zone Zero. But I prefer the opposite. I mean, I prefer 100% usually, but I'm okay with 90% and 10% or 80% and 20%. But when it's the way it is in Zenless, it's just like, no, just not for me. Just not for me. But it would be nice too if that 10% you got to play was actually good, like it is in Snowbreak, which you get to play 100% of the time. But yeah, I guess CSUN, they're just better developers when it comes to balancing games. They're better at making characters actually feel like you're doing something in the game rather than just kind of watching. I mean, I think maybe with Zenless, they wanted to make like a Star Rail game where you watch your characters, but you get to play them while you're watching them. So they figured out how to do that. So I could play a harder difficulty. I could also, I think Neuro Sim's available. Can I do that? Yeah. So this is basically a boss mode. I'm on difficulty 4. So this is even more hard content that you get access to, and it's I'd say it's pretty easy for like the first 3 floors, and then on 4 and 5 is when it starts to get difficult. So I'm gonna do 4. I might not even be able to beat this because It can be tough. So let me try this out. See if I can even beat this. I'm going to have to definitely dodge because if I get hit, I'm actually going to take damage. Let's see. What happens if I let him hit me? I bet I'm going to take some actual damage and like Zenless damage. Let's see. Holy shit, yeah, that's a lot of damage. That's like half my health bar. Just for barely letting him hit me with one mechanic. I have to now pop my heal because that did a lot of damage. Because in this game, you can actually fight enemies that do damage to you. There's actual difficulty progression. Because remember, this isn't my best character, my best character series. And that's the thing about gacha games. You know, it's kind of true for a lot of gacha games, is the newest character that comes out is going to be really overpowered. So I have the newest character that came out, so she's overpowered. So yeah, I can kind of use her like my cheat code. But pretty much all the other characters, maybe Katya is another overpowered one, but other than like her in series, it seems like everyone else you actually have to kind of play the game. So yeah, you know, like I think that's kind of cool that, you know, you could basically have a difficulty option on a character, and then, you know, wailing on the game because it is a gacha game at the end of the day. So you got stuff like that, but you know, for people that want a game where you can actually play the fucking game and not just stare at your characters and drooling over them, maybe eventually adding in gameplay that you get to fucking play, you got this fucking game. And you know what? Here's the other thing too. Like, I think it looks like Mihoyo's trying to put fan service in their game. It definitely looks like it with what they've been doing with their game in Zenless. So if you want fan service, then don't fucking go play Zenless. Go play this game. This game's way better for fan service, at least when it comes to women. There's no men in the game, but you know, yeah, if you want men, you probably just go play Wuthering anyways, because they actually have like real men. I mean, Zenless has a real man to some extent, but yeah, it's not an open world game, so it's a better game for that anyways. So yeah, see, I'm actually taking damage. I actually probably have to use other characters. I can't just stay on Yao. I actually have to use the mechanics of the game to fight the boss. I can't just play one character and just be like, oh, I'm just going to stay on Billy and just clear the whole floor. I actually have to play all my characters. And I just died, I just lost. So, there you go. I made a mistake and I just lost the floor. I could keep trying. I mean, I will beat him eventually, whatever. A little bit trickier when you're recording live. But yeah, the point is, you see, like, there's content in the game I can't just easily do, right? I could still do that content, but I have to, you know, I have to be focused. I can't just easily get through it. It's not like whatever, right? And that's, you know, only level 4. There's still level 5. And on top of that, I can't use those characters on the other stage. That's why my series is on this stage, and then I have to use another team. So even if you have an overpowered character like series, you need to have 2 of them. Because, right? So I only have 1 of them. So I can't even use that cheat code on both stages. So there you go. So that's the Snowbreak part. Just showing off how, yeah, this game actually has difficulty progression. It's a stage-based game. It doesn't have male characters, but outside of that, it's got better fan service. It actually has women characters in the game too, like Enya, because anime usually has like a lot of kind of like high school girls and stuff, and all the girls in Zenless are basically high school of age and shit. So, yeah, it's got fan service in the game, but it's high school fan service. This game actually has, like, woman fan service, so that's another plus, too. Yao looks more like a woman. Enya looks like a woman. Life looks like she could be a woman, potentially. I don't know, it's arguable. Tess, series, But, you know, Enya and Yao, I think you could both argue, could look like women. So, yeah, you can actually get women characters on top of that, too. So it's just even another reason why it's better than Zenless. So that's the Snowbreak part of the video. Yo, so here I am on Wuthering Waves. It's a brand new account. Obviously, better than ZZ. That's why I'm going to be naming all my new accounts on the mobile games that are better than ZZ. Zenless Zone Zero. So this is my account. I'm at Crownless. You get to him very, very early on in the game. So let's see. Let's see how much Crownless does to me. Because again, this is like the very beginning. Maybe I have to hit him a couple times to like activate him. There we go. See, it's teaching you the game because there's actually a reason to learn the game. See, look, he's hitting me. I'm actually taking damage. I'm actually taking damage from an enemy in the game, and it's at the very beginning of the game. That's weird because in Zenless it takes 50 hours to get to this point. In Wuthering it only takes like 10 minutes. So that's, I don't know, maybe that's bad game design on Wuthering's part. Obviously, you know, the best way to design a game is to make you sit through 50 hours of bad gameplay that you don't want to play so that you can get maybe an hour of good gameplay once a day. That's how Mihoyo balances and designs their games, apparently. So that's the design philosophy of Zenless. I prefer the design philosophy of Wuthering, where they actually give you challenging combat, even at the beginning of the game. So I can actually die to this guy I'm actually close to dying now. And it didn't take 10 minutes to get here. It took maybe like a minute at best. So now I can just play the game and, you know, kill this guy because he's a loser. He's weaker than Gian somehow. So yeah, but at the end of the day, I can just kill this guy. He has a second phase too, so now the boss fights actually get harder, believe it or not. You know, because this is like, this for Zenless, this is like probably an end game boss in Zenless, this guy. Because there's actually the potential you could lose on this guy if you're not trying. If you're trying, yeah, you're not going to lose on this guy. But if you're not trying, you could actually die to this guy. You can't, like, you have to actively go out your way in Zenless right now, it seems, to die. Like, you have to, you know, make sure you're not running good characters. You got to make sure, see, now there's the parry system. I don't really like the parry system in this game personally, but at the end of the fucking day, the parry system in this game feels like it was designed around a reason for it to be in the game. It's a mechanic in the game. It really feels like in Zenless, they're like, okay, well, you know, Wuthering Waves is going to have a parry system. They're going to have extreme dodging. They're going to have all that stuff, right? So we need that stuff too. But that's, Mihoyo, you're missing a massive equation in all of that. You need fucking gameplay for that parry and other shit to actually go off of. See, look, my character's almost fucking dead. He's almost dead. This UI is dog shit, obviously, but I didn't think I needed to fucking change the UI just to make this video. I'm going to go back to my actual account later, and then I'll have my actual UI. So the point is, as you can see, you can actually, it's possible for you to actually fail. It's possible for you to actually fail at the very beginning of the game in Wuthering. It's actually something that can fucking happen. Obviously not for me, even with those controls, even letting him hit me. But the end of the fucking day, that was like the first 10 minutes of the game. So, you know, what about an hour in? What about 2 hours in? There's difficulty progression in this game. You can die the mobs in the open world. I mean, you kind of have to go, you have to like kind of be AFK. To some extent, just let them hit you early on. But even where I am now on my account, there's times in even like Mount Firmament where sometimes I make mistakes and my Calcharo dies. So like, I can actually die in the open world on my current account. So it's not like you get to a point where the open world just becomes you're so tanky and stuff in the open world that it's just like the mobs can't even touch you, which is what it feels like in Zenless. It feels like I have like characters that are from like 2 years of like investment for the game, even though it just fucking came out. So let's see, can I die to this level 5 enemy? Probably have to hit him to activate him. Yep. Because again, this is the beginning of the game, so they don't want to make it too hard. But they actually want to give you some challenge. See, look, I can die. I can die to this guy in the game. I can die. I mean, yeah, I have to get hit a bunch of times, but it's going to take like maybe 2 minutes to die to this guy instead of 10 minutes to die in Zenless. So I can actually die to this guy, which means that I have a reason to learn the mechanics in this game. I have a reason to dodge. I have a reason to parry. I have a reason to actually use my character's abilities. I have a reason to learn all of that stuff, because if I don't do that stuff right now, I just let him hit me. I just, hit the attack button, right? I'm just hitting one button, just hitting the attack button. What you do in Zenless, just going to play the game like it's Zenless. Look, I'm going to die if I play the game like Zenless. I can't just hit one button. I'm going to do that on Yang Yang. Is he going to die? Probably. But then, at the end of the day, I still lost a character. And if I keep it up like this, if I just keep playing the game like this, eventually I'm going to take too much damage and my team's going to die. So I can't play the game that way. I can't play Wuthering Waves the way I play Zenless. I can't just press one button, occasionally move my character. I can't play the game that way. I actually have to play the fucking game. And unlike Snowbreak, where, you do actually kind of have to get there, do have to go through some easy stuff initially, but, it's not a ton of investment to get to that hard difficulty. In Wuthering Waves, which is essentially, I see everyone saying that this is like their competition. In Wuthering Waves, there's difficulty in their game at basically the start of the game. So I'm going to try and beat these guys the Zenless way. I'm going to try and play the game the Zenless way. Let me try to play the game the Zenless way. I'm taking damage. I'm actually taking damage. It's not 1% of my HP bar when I get hit by that stuff. It's more like 5% to 10%. And these are baby enemies in the open world. So if I actually go and find like a mob pack that's like more threatening and stuff, then it'll actually take like significant damage in this open world. And this isn't even the hard content in the game. This is just the surface level content you learn about, because the way you design a video game is you have difficulty progression and it gets harder over time. You don't just go like, okay, it's baby mode easy for 50 hours and then all of a sudden it has difficulty. That's how you make a shit game. That's how you make a fucking shit game. And that's the game Zenless is right now. It's a shit fucking game because it doesn't have difficulty curve. You can't die in the game for like 50 hours. You just have to play baby mode easy gameplay for like 50 hours, and then you get a fucking hard game maybe. Maybe. I don't even fucking know if it's going to be hard. And if it's going to be hard, how long can I play that hard gameplay? Can I play it forever? Or can I only play it for an hour and then I have to come back the next day to play the next hour? So it literally is fucking heroin at that point. So, I don't fucking want that. It's sad. It's sad that Zenless could have actually been competition for this game on mobile, but they decided to make their game for, I don't know, I guess little kids that like sparkly colors and don't want actual challenging gameplay. So that's what they made their game for. They didn't make it for the people who like this game. They definitely didn't make it for the people like this game. Maybe on the surface it looks like it has that kind of content because they advertise it really well. But guess what? It's not that game. It is not that game. It is an Animal Crossing game with some combat that looks like Wuthering Waves, just more polished, that you get to play for like 2 minutes every hour. No, like, I don't know, you get to play maybe like 15 minutes of that gameplay once an hour, and it's not 15 minutes, just 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes carved up into like 2 to 3 minute sections with gameplay that you can beat by just pressing one button, and doing more button presses is just there for you to get past it faster. But it doesn't actually have any challenge to it, even if you put it on the challenging difficulty. This game doesn't have a difficulty slider. There's just one difficulty. So just like with Dark Souls, the way you make the game easier is by using different characters, different team comps, and stuff like that. So that's the Wuthering section of the video, and then I'm going to get to the Action Taimanin section of the video. And by the end of the video, you'll see that, yeah, Mihoyo really has no fucking excuse to be doing this shit. There are tons of games out there that don't have this problem, and Mihoyo isn't some tiny baby company that no one knows about. They're a massive, giant company with tons of resources, so it's sad and pathetic that they can't fucking get this right. It's just sad. It really is just fucking sad. Yo, I actually just wanted to show some of my account and show how even on my account, the open world still has challenge to it. As you can see, my UI is actually customized so I can play the game the way I want to play the game. If I couldn't customize my UI in this game, it would probably be unplayable for me. So thank God Kuro made this game, not Mihoyo, because Kuro is actually intelligent enough. They're smart over there at the company to implement UI customization like this, unlike Mihoyo that's so arrogant they don't think they need it. So yeah. So I'm going to go with this guy, right? He's an open world mob. My account, let's see, can I look at my Yinlin? See, my Yinlin's level 70. She's got this weapon. She's got these echoes. I have my Kalchara echoes on right now. I'm trying to do a DPS Yinlin build right now with her while I'm waiting for Changli. So my Yinlin isn't like weak or anything, but let's let this guy hit me. Look at that damage. Look at that. What? I take that damage from a basic mob in the open world? What? I can die on my Yinlin? My Yinlin, who I've invested a ton onto, can die in the open world to a basic enemy? Not a boss enemy, but a basic enemy she can die to, right? So that's one of the other things about Wuthering Waves, is the difficulty in the open world actually scales. So you don't invalidate all your content just because, you know, you progressed into the game. It actually scales. Now let me res her so that I have her. It actually scales. The open world actually scales to your level. It actually does that. So you have a fucking reason. You have a fucking reason to actually play the game even when you're doing your dailies and shit. You can't do the one button press thing. It won't work in this game. Maybe it'll work if you're playing a certain team comp. Maybe there's ways to make that work, but at the end of the fucking day, this is still a fucking video game that you have to play. It's not a chore, which is what Zenless seems to be, that you just get on and do your fucking clock in or whatever. It seems like that's what Zenless was designed around, is it's a fucking job you have to work. This is an actual game you get to fucking play. See, look, I complete super easily because I'm trying, but I still have to fucking try just to do fucking dailies in this game. Which, I mean, I don't know, maybe you don't like that. Maybe you're like, oh, the game should be 90% bad and then 10% good, and you get to that 10% good, and then whenever you're doing dailies and shit, it's just like mind-numbingly boring content that you have to do to get your resources. Maybe that's the way you think the game should be, and then if that's the way you think the game should be, then you're going to love Zenless, because that's basically what all the content in that game's about. Playing mind-numbingly boring content with no difficulty progression so that you can maybe get a taste of some good content down the road, and then that just becomes your heroin that you have to log on every day to get. Whereas in Wuthering Waves, it's got content in the open world that can still be challenging. It's got content like tactical holograms. It's got Tower of Adversity. So there's even challenging content for people that think this content's baby easy, but then this content isn't baby easy for someone that's new to the game. So there's actual difficulty progression in the fucking game. Zenless has none of that, as far as I'm aware. So there, other than the TV mode actually does have difficulty progression. So they balance the TV mode pretty well. It's got really good difficulty progression to TV mode, but there's none in the actual fucking game that they're advertising. I never seen any fucking advertisements for the fucking TV mode. I've seen all the advertisements have been for what this is. You know, this kind of game in Zenless. Those are what the advertisements are. When I see advertisements for Wuthering Waves, they're accurate. When I see advertisements for Snowbreak, I don't think I've only seen like one, maybe. They're accurate, or it's accurate, right? I see advertisements for Action Taimanin maybe like once or twice. They're accurate. When I see advertisements for Zenless, they're super fucking inaccurate because that's not the actual fucking game that you get to play. So this is the Wuthering section, and I'll have the Action Taimanin section. Alright, here's the Action Taimanin part of the video. As you can see, I have this character, and she's level 49. Like I said, I couldn't make a new account. Maybe in the future I could. But either way, I have this character. She's level 49. She's my lowest character. Level 1 weapons. You know, you can obviously upgrade your weapons, but level 1 weapon, so that, you know, it's the base kind of weapon you'd start with. So again, no skills, no supporters. So basically just trying to gimp her as much as I can with my weakest DPS. So I can, you know, again, this is more power than you would have normally. So if there's any difficulty in this, then that means it would be harder for your average new player. So just keep that in mind. So this is easy mode, so it says easy, so it shouldn't be hard because it says easy. So, I mean, it's easy. So, yeah, of course. That's fine. Let's get through this easy content. Kill these guys. So, yeah, obviously you want to play the Zenless way on easy. No problem. Even when I first started playing the game, you can play the Zenless way on easy. On normal, I don't exactly remember. I remember it being pretty easy. But hard is where it actually gets hard, because it's called hard. Go figure. So now we're on normal, and as you can see, still pretty easy. Yeah, some of the mobs now take some extra hits to kill, but for the most part, still pretty easy. Not a big deal. This is only chapter 1, but at the end of the day, we can go to chapter 2, see if that's a little bit hard, because, you know, it wouldn't be fair to compare chapter 1 in this game to chapter 2 in Zenless. So we'll go do hard one more time on this stage, just to show hard off, just to show that, you know, it's probably not that hard, because it's only chapter 1, and my character's level 49, so they have some investment, and they're using the starting weapon, but they're level 49, and I have a bunch of other stuff, passives that increase my character and buffer. So let's now try it, and we're going to definitely get through it the Zenless way, right? So let's just do it the Zenless way. Just tap the 1 attack button, and we'll be able to get through the stage the Zenless way, because after all, this character is, you know, a little bit overgeared. At least should be overgeared in Zenless. So let's see. Through it actually is taking some time. It's taking way longer than Zenless's hard mode. Although they don't have a normal mode, they only have easy mode and hard mode. So this one has an extra difficulty, I suppose, but you have to unlock it. So you have to beat the easy, then the normal, and then you can unlock hard. So yeah, I'm doing it the Zenless way. It's only one character too. So Zenless will have 2 more characters to tank damage. Nonetheless, she's got, I'd say, a little bit less than a normal Zenless character's HP pool. Oh shit, I might not be able to win the Zenless way. I might have to dodge a little bit. But I can overall still win. I might have to pop my ultimate, so I might have to do that. So, but I was still able to win. On that character, so, you know, it's not too hard. It's still pretty easy. Yeah, it looked like I might have died there, but, you know, that's just fake news. So let me do stage 2 hard, and let's see. Because this is, you know, on par with Zenless in terms of where I am in the story. So let's see how hard this is. So, again, this character's a lot more powerful than what my Zenless characters would be, because she's 49 and not level 20. But then again, my Zenless characters have equipment that's slightly upgraded, and her equipment's not upgraded, and I'm not using any skills. So, yeah, I guess Zenless, it might be on par with this difficulty, maybe. I don't know. So, I don't know, maybe, yeah, for the entry-level content, it's about the same, maybe. I don't know. I might not be able to beat this stage the Zenless way. I might actually have to dodge, too. Sometimes you have to dodge in Zenless, so, I mean, it's not entirely out of character, but, yeah, I don't really like this character, to be honest. So I'm not going to try and complete that anyways. Call me a noob or whatever, I don't care. So I'm going to now go to the home screen because, yeah, this game, I would have to say, it has better difficulty progression than Zenless Zone Zero. Because even though that main story, it will get harder over time. That's just the main story. That's not even the end game. That's the story. That's this game's story. Is a game that with difficulty progression. And the story is the game play. And then, some like Japanese people talking, that you can skip if you want, because I have no idea what the story in this game is. All I know is that I get to play hot women and kill things. And somehow this game, 4-year-old game that was based off of a hentai, because this character Usagi originally was a hentai, and then at some point they made a video game off the hentai. And yet that 4-year-old mobile game with, in my opinion, the best fan service, and pretty good gameplay, which in my opinion is like one of the best games on mobile. But again, mobile, we don't have like all the stuff PC has necessarily. There's a lot of shit and you have to sift through it. And this is one of those gems. And sadly, I can't say that for Zenless, because this game somehow has better difficulty progression than Zenless, which is a $1 billion company that pretty much everyone fucking knows about if they've ever played a gacha game. And yet they can't make difficulty progression on par with this game. It's not even close to Wuthering, obviously, but like they can't even do it on par with this game. I think that's sad. I mean, I think this game's amazing, but at the end of the day, it's like not a ton of people know about this game. So it's not like they get insane funding. Mihoyo gets insane funding. So I can take my character, right? So I could show you that this game actually does have an end game. It's not just baby content like Zenless. And the baby content I showed you at the beginning, which was the early story with hard stuff. So like this is, not even like necessarily a super hard floor for my character, but as you can see, if I let them hit me, I will actually take damage, even on my one of my mains. I will still take damage on this floor, but if I play the game properly, then I actually can get through it. So I actually have to play the fucking game properly to not die. I know it's shocking. I know. Maybe I'm just one of those boomer gamers out there that's like, I liked it when games you actually had to mentally use your brain, and now everyone wants to play games where they just turn off their brains, they close their eyes, and then they wait for something sparkly and shiny to flash up so they can open their eyes, press some buttons, and they get back to just closing their eyes and tapping their phone. But I prefer a game with actual gameplay, difficulty progression, and that's what you can get in this game. That's what you can get in Snowbreak. That's what you can get in Wuthering Waves. So at the end of this, you're gonna, at the end of this Action Taimanin footage, you're gonna see the Zenless footage. And then at the end of all that, you can make it up for yourself which game you think is the better game. Put it in the comments. Love to hear your opinion, but you should watch the whole videos. Don't just be that guy watches like 1 minute in and just goes, oh, I think you're wrong, and then whatever. It's like, well, you should look at all the evidence. You should look at the Zenless evidence. You should look at this evidence and judge for yourself. Look at all the evidence before you first, and then after that, make your conclusion. My conclusion is that Zenless is garbage. It's a pathetic game that, is such a disappointment because it's not like the game is underneath all the bullshit that Mihoyo put on it is bad. It's just Mihoyo's so bad at balancing their game, it might as well be dog shit. So, yeah. So I was able to beat that floor, as you can see. Even though I did take some damage, I still had almost no health at the end because I took even more damage even when I was trying. I mean, yeah, I was talking and shit, but whatever. So if I go to stage 88, I probably won't be even able to beat that while I'm talking. I've been able to beat it on this build with Asagi before. This is a little bit of a more like hardcore build. But at the end of the day, this is like one of the harder stages for me to complete on this build with this character. So I'm probably not going to be able to do it in the video. It's just a fact. So, but the other one I was able to do because I've done it so many times. But that's the thing is I've had to practice this. I couldn't just do this just like first time or a couple times or whatever. I had to do this like 100 times, like 1,000 times, right? Because like I said, I've been playing this game for 4 years. So I've been playing this game for a really fucking long time. So I've been able to get really good at this fucking game. Or at least, good for a mobile player. So the point is that this game actually, there's a reason to fucking, like, learn the combat because there's actually going to be enemies that you have to use the combat on. But that doesn't seem to be the case right now for me in Zenless. Doesn't seem to be the case, right? So, at least in the story department, and the side stuff, like, there's, like, every now and then, like, a tiny taste of it. Like, a minuscule taste of it. So, yeah. Probably when I die, then I'll just, yeah. So, I'm going to die soon. But again, I can try and not get hit. I have even done, like, clears where I've never gotten hit once. So, sometimes I've done it where I get my health to the lowest possible and then clear it that way. So, there's, like, challenge things I do like that. But that's just because I've mastered a lot in this game. If you're brand new to this game, you have a lot to learn. So, you have a lot to play with. So, unlike with Zenless, where it seems like you can learn pretty much everything you need to learn in, like, 3 minutes or something. Alright, now we're at the Zenless Zone Zero part of the video. And I gotta say, I did some testing. And it turns out it's Zenless is a little bit better than I thought. A little bit, but still not necessarily the best. So as you can see, I'm going to put on Billy. And then I'm going to run these two level 1 characters. Because Billy's my character I've invested a little bit into. And from what I hear, he's not that good in the meta. But, he is level 20, so he's the correct level for this content. He's got equipment on, so he's the level you should be to do the content. And then I have level 1s to show off how much damage they'll take. So, it actually does seem like you can actually take some damage in this game. So, just have to wait for them to hit me. So it's going to take a little while. Because, Billy's kind of overpowered right now. Because he's the correct gear for the level. So it's going to take a while for them to kill me. Because he's the correct gear for the level. Also, they have to remember that he's not attacking them. So they're trying to figure out what they need to do. It's going to take a while. But then I can show you what's really cool about this game. So eventually my Billy is going to die. So you can actually die in this game. I was wrong. You can die, actually. It just takes a while. Well, eventually he'll die. Just give it some... Because so far it's only been a minute, so it's not that big of a deal, guys. It's not that big a deal. It's only been a minute. It might only take 2 minutes to die in this game. In Wuthering Waves, it takes like probably like 30 seconds to a minute. So at the beginning of the game, so it's only twice as long. It's not that big of a deal. So just wait a little bit longer. Just wait a little bit longer. Okay, he died. Now, here's what's really cool about the game. Watch this. 1, 2, 3. Come on, man. Come on. Stop holding on me. Okay, 4. There we go. So 4 hits to kill that guy, right? And he's level 1. So this is actually a strategy you could do. Just don't level up your characters. Don't put on any equipment. And then that way the game will actually be challenging. So... it will take a while, though, to complete. But again, you'll have an actual challenging game opposed to a baby game. So, I didn't know you could do that. Okay, that's interesting. It's a mechanic that could matter if the game... Well, you know what? I might be able to make the game difficult. I just have to never level up my characters. I have to never pull on the gacha. Because, I don't want to get a good character because I need to play a bad character and never gear them up or level them up. Otherwise, the game will be too easy. So I guess this game's very free to play friendly then if you're, if you want a challenging game. Because if you want a challenging game, you shouldn't spend money on this game. It's a bad idea. You should be spending money on Snowbreak, or Wuthering Waves, or even Action Taimanin. But don't be spending money on this game if you want the game to be challenging, right? If you want the game to be, if you want the game to be easy, you probably don't even need to spend money on this game. But if somehow it's hard for you, you could, spend money on this game. So I guess Mihoyo actually is a really nice company, right? They're basically a charity at this point because they put this game out. They knew that most people weren't going to spend money on it because a lot of people want a hard game. But they're like, well, we got to balance the game in a way where the people who don't want to spend money on the game shouldn't have to spend money on the game. The people who want to spend money on the game should have to spend money on the game. So the way they did that is just like, okay, it's baby mode easy for everyone. And if you don't want it to be baby mode easy, just don't spend money on our game. On top of not spending money on our game, don't bother with the RPG mechanics of the game. They're pointless. They're not for you. Just play the character level 1. And now look at this game. This is the game I wanted. This is the game... This is actually a pretty fun game, to be honest, because I can die if I fuck up too much. I'm still on this guy right now. Like, this is a kind of challenging game. I probably have to utilize the parry mechanic if I had 2 characters. Like, yeah, I think this is how you have to play the game. You just have to not spend money on the game. Don't put any investment in your characters. Just play them level 1. So if you want different characters, I guess you can pull on the gacha. So I guess maybe you could spend money on just limited. But even at that point, I think they're really generous. They give you like 100 free summons. As long as you sit through the TV mode. And don't slit your wrists halfway through it. If you can do that, then yeah. You'll get 100 free summons. And then at the end of that, you'd probably be able to get the limited character you want, and then you don't have to level them up. You don't have to do any gear. See, I lost because, yeah, it's actually challenging now. It's actually like Wuthering Waves. It's like Snowbreak. It's like Action Taimanin. When you get to the hard levels on Action Taimanin, it's actually a challenging game. So if I run the characters that this level and stage was intended for, then yeah, I guess it's gonna be just baby mode easy. But if I do it with actual characters that I have no investment on at all, then it actually will be challenging. So I can run her instead. So I could run this team comp. Difficulty is too, well, that's, no, I was just lowering the difficulty, bro. Like, I need to fix the UI on that because I figured out how to do the difficulty. You just have to never invest on your characters, just never invest on your characters. And to be honest, you won't have to spend money for most of them because you just get them to base gacha. I don't even know if it's worth it to pull limited characters because limited characters usually have really good stats. So even the base stats will be too good. So I don't know. I don't know. See, now I can do swap cancel tech to actually play the game because I'm not playing characters that were meant for this stage. I'm playing characters that the game expects you not to play, so I'm actually get decent gameplay, I guess. I still would prefer Snowbreak over this or Wuthering the Waves because, to be honest, I like the RPG elements of games. But yeah, I guess if you don't care about the RPG element of this game, it's more of a flavor thing for you, and you prefer to have better combat, then I guess you can get that in this game. You just have to never invest on your characters, and you probably just can't use any of the limited 5-star characters. I think you can use the base 5-star characters like this wolf guy, but even now I think I'm kind of still overpowered because I am trying to play the game. So I guess, I don't know, this still seems a little bit too easy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure though. I might just be too good I might be better than the average Mihoyo player. So yeah, I don't know. That might just be what's going on. See, look, she got hit by that and she actually took some damage. Obviously, she didn't get one shot because she's only level 1. She's not level negative 1,000. Right? She's only level 1. So obviously, it's not a one shot like it is in Snowbreak, because in Snowbreak they're actually level 1 and it's on stage 2. But I mean, look, one of my characters already died. So I mean, it's possible to die as long as you play level 1 characters. So, and you do it on a stage that's supposed to be potentially hard normally. So yeah, that's all you gotta do if you want to have challenging gameplay. I was kind of wrong about this game to some extent. You can have challenging gameplay. It is possible. How challenging, I don't even know if a lot of people would consider this challenging. I think it's kind of like whatever. It's nice that this is going to take some time to do now because, yeah, when I use my actual Billy Ambi, that really sucks. So maybe I have to re-roll my account because I really like Billy and Ambi. I might have to re-roll my account because I leveled them up, and that was a massive mistake. So, yeah, if you like Zenless and you want to really stick with it, and you're the game's too easy, then you might have to re-roll your account. Because if you upgrade your characters, that was a huge mistake. Massive mistake. Because there's a way to get some challenge in the game if you just never upgrade them. The story mode's probably going to still be super easy, but this side content that you occasionally will get to do, well, it will actually be challenging if you just never equip gear on your characters, you never level them up. As long as you do that, you actually can get some challenge in this game, it looks like. So, I was wrong about this game. There is challenge in the game. You just have to know how to unlock it. And I guess, to be honest, that makes sense why there's see, Mihoyo, they're so smart that they even figured out a way to tie the difficulty unlock to the story, right? because they're like, well, you can't just have the hard difficulty. You have to unlock it. Part of having the hard difficulties, you know how to unlock the hard difficulty. Like, a noob would ask for the difficulty, and a pro would figure out where the difficulty is and how to have it. Right? So obviously that's what Mihoyo knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Because they know that 90% of their player base wants to sit in the TV mode all day and occasionally play bad gameplay unless they knew about the secret art of just not leveling up your character to then have awesome gameplay. Kind of. So that's those people's mistake. My mistake. Obviously, the evidence is in front of you. If, you looked at the Snowbreak footage, you looked at the Action Taimanin footage, you looked at the Wuthering Waves footage, you looked at all the other games, and and then you look at this, and you're like, yeah, obviously this is the best one of all those games. Then, okay. Put in the comments which game's your favorite. Because, I wouldn't say this one's my favorite. I'm not sure which one's my favorite yet, but it's definitely, I don't think this one's my favorite. But it might be your favorite. See, I even died. I can die in this game. So obviously anyone that's telling you, like, I thought you couldn't die in this game, I was wrong. You can die in this game. It's possible. You just need to know what to do. So, I'm probably going to have to re-roll my account. So that way I have the hard difficulty unlocked for all my characters. Because to be honest, I'm not really a fan of those characters in this game. I really like the starting characters, Billy, Nicole, and Anby. So if I want to play those three characters, I really fucked up and leveled all three of them up to level 20. So I'm probably going to have to re-roll my account. That really sucks. But thankfully all I've done is put $5 in the game. So if I decide to replay the game, decide to do the game, I guess I'm going to have to re-roll my account. I think I already have an all account, but I might have already leveled them up. And if I even leveled them up once, that probably is like a 20% DPS increase or something. So, yeah, I'm probably going to have to re-roll my account to unlock the difficulty mode for those three characters. So, yeah, but that's the video. So, yeah, maybe Zenless isn't as garbage as I thought. Maybe it's just like, instead of being garbage, it's like recycling or something, like at least you can get some value from it. It's like a lot of people still look at it and think it's garbage, but at the end of the day, at least it gets reused for some new purpose. So it's not as bad as garbage, right? So it's recycling, or like compost, like the green trash can instead of the gray trash can. It's the blue or green one, right? So it's not as bad as garbage. It's just in the same kind of environment as them, but not as bad. So yeah, that's the Zenless part. So yeah, vote in the, say which game you like in the comments. Maybe this is the game for you. Maybe Snowbreak's the game for you. Maybe it's Wuthering, or maybe it's even Action Taimanin. Say in the comments which game is your favorite game. Because, yeah. So that's the video. Bye.